Your struggle amuses me.
I can do that, with the right incentive. You've got a problem. I've got a prize.
If I may.
Am I getting paid for this? I can do that, with the right incentive.
Isn't this a job for the sacrifice painted black? As duty demands.
I will leave footprints of scarlet as the tenor of my blade whispers your name. The shadows will see it done. Trust me.
But of course. Anything is? Was it you? Or anything else?
I need no guidance, unsold tribute. I won't waste my time on that.
My competencies are not that universal. Running binary code.
as on. Let your soul be purged.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. Clad in scarlet.
What, of course.
That is foolishness. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Death comes in silence. I shall not fail. My blade whispers your name.
Let the blood of the wicked be shed as thou hast willed.
Trust me, caught by the web. The shadows come, the other side awaits. Trust me.
On it.
I will. What a satisfying demise. Purpose guides me. One step closer.
Request approved. My vow is to serve. Request approved. Running binary functions successfully terminated. I'm a member.
I know what I'm doing, usually. How about no? Tell me, and it...
Request approved. The Old Messiah knows all, comprehends all. The Old Messiah condemns you.
Isn't this a job for the serfs? If I may?
No! These ruby flashes are choking me.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Watch out. I see what others do not. I do what I must. Just as he ordained.
My warp sight reveals something.
Just as I was taught. The shadows reveal their secrets.
Embrace true
Fortune smiles
power.
on us. An ill omen. Blood is my life. Death is my duty. Death walks with me. The Vizier. Would he be proud? Am I?
The formidable-looking door blocks the way into the next module. It is covered in scratches, as if someone clawed the metal. Restore power. This. The air in the room is permeated by the wild mixture of miasmas in both mechanical and biological origin. Blood, rust, vomit, machine oil, excrement, kerosene, all of this smell blend together into such a thick stench that it almost feels palpable. Just as the air here is one mad tangle of odors, the device in front of you is a mismatch of riling wires and transplanted fragments. In all the clutter, one could almost miss the main component, a heavy augmented man, whose upper body is embedded into the frame of the machine, with dozens of wires piercing his flesh. A class of congealed blood and other bodily fluid covers the man's entire body, but his eyes are open and his gaze is keen. His gaze is turned to you, devoid of surprise or deference. Who are you, disturbing the peace of holy martyrs in the home of our grief? What do you want? The symbols your brethren protect themselves with the symbols your brethren protect themselves with symbols of chaos. Your knowledge is lacking, invader. These are secret holy symbols imparted to us by the Omnisha. How else would my tech comrades have survived if not for the protection? So many of us were devoured by evil. He falls silent as if lost in thought. I'm not interested in you. I wish to see what you have been trying to hold back. You can barely make out Pascal's agitated voice over the angry crackle of interference. I am registering that contact with the corrupting entity is tech heresy beyond categorization. How dare you encroach upon the sacred essence of the machine? How? As soon as he stills forever, the oppressive atmosphere around you deepens into literal darkness. One by one, flaming slits begin to appear in the gloom, perhaps eyes, perhaps mouths, ready to devour the mortal who has laid claim to it. A foreign, otherworldly will raised against you and crumbles when confronted by the forces that keep you safe in the service of the dark gods. Let's force... Force the entity to become his servant in the ship. Ah, no!
The Emperor offers no quarter to his enemies. Neither do I.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. I'm not accustomed to another foe painted black. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
You've got a problem, I've got a prize.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
I can do that, with the right incentive. Am I getting paid? Never cross a casualty. Tell me, and if it's remember the name.
How dare you! Blessed Emperor, protect your daughter.
Was that you? Or will do?
Integrity failure. Detected.
Don't know what to do.
I will try blood-soaked tribute. I need no guidance. Purpose guides me. Ruin beckons.
I am a navigator. As duty demands.
A moving target lives longer. You've got a problem? I've got a prize. Me? Never in 1,000 sectors.
Me. Another third painted black.
Perfection.
The empty shell of Demon Engine was this creation, a horrifying mix of real space technologies and the deranged powers of the warp that disturbed the ship's system and twisted the tech priest minds.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
Permission to report, Lord Captain. I keep receiving messages about strange behavior in a certain ship system. All decks report uncontrollable opening and closing of doors, gates and airlocks. They behave erratically and do not obey the operator's command. Regrettably, this has led to casualties among the crew. The deck priest has explained that these phenomena are being caused by the machine spirit irascibility and have spent hours chanting litanies to soothe their rage. Unfortunately, many crew members were barely injured before the prayers could stabilize the system. The high Factorum voice rings with pride. Lord Captain, have done as commanded. Everything has been prepared for your ritual with Mr. Kibala. A select few upper decks officers are ready to leave their post to attend this formal gathering and praise your lordship name. We can begin at your convenience. Splendid. It will be done. I shall signal the servants and notify the invited parties immediately. They must demonstrate to Mistress Kibala just how strong our vessel spirit of camaraderie truly is. Kibala stands out clearly from the officers in attendance, both for her favouring the full regalia of a member of the Bloodsport Web over formal attire and for the empty space around her. The other attendees are keeping their distance, as if an air of mortal danger repels them from their companion. Darnog, whose keen, worried gaze is locked on Kibala and whose mouth is stretched into the most contagious of smiles, gives you a hurried bow. Your lordship. Domin Neroth Vox, you are here. Kibala sounds neither excited nor solemn. Her tone is indifferent as her fearsome metal claws plunge silence of fruit from one of the plates. I see you. How are you? I feel wrong. Strange people, strange sounds and gestures. Kibala lets out a sharp breath. Her gaze becomes vacant and her hand reaches for her table knife. I'm losing myself in this whirlpool. Grasping the knife, she begins to carve lines right into the expensive wooden tabletops. A nervous murmur runs through the crowd. The tense gazes are locked on the harmless-looking, barely sharpened metal utensil in the hand of the cultist of the Bloodsport Web. I see you have already mastered the art of commanding attention. You seem to be quite in your element. She blinks in surprise and looks up at you. She glances back and forth, seemingly privy to the meaning of your words, and then her clear, genuine laughter fills the room, startling everyone around her. I suppose that's true, Dominic of Vox. I will not fluster your subject further. Kibala glances at the maze she has inscribed and sighs. Whenever I lose my thread, whenever I'm falls astray by the outside world, I return to the labyrinth. It has all the answers. My meditation helps in finding my way out. I regain myself and prize the righteousness of serving the undying one. How would you like ceremonies on the upper deck? I am attempting to peer through the florid shell to the core, yet it continues to elude me. Kibala looks you in the eye. What is the purpose of this ritual domain Vox? Explain it to me. Power. These people came to the snap of my fingers. They look at me, hung upon my every word and gesture, hoping against hope that I might grace them with a smile or a glance. Is that so? I hope that this power you so cherish serves the purpose of hollow vanity. I am too conspicuous beside the rest of your servants. Kibala looks at the other guests and they quickly avert their eyes. A fitting mask, that is what I required for a ritual like this. I came unprepared. It will not happen again. I see from the delicacy that is to your liking. She smiles. Food like this is impossible to come by in a lower pace. I do not know what this is, but it tastes incredible. Juice is dripping down her fingers and hand. It seems she is the only one here who has not lost her appetite. The officers' faces have turned into pale, alarmed masks, and none of them is in a hurry to enjoy the feast. The choice of attire is not customary for such gatherings. Kibala looks at you with mild confusion. My appearance tells those around me who I am. Everyone here is wearing a mask for the respective thread. Is this not a requirement for your rituals? She glances at the opulent room, the dazzling decor, and the handsomely dressed officers. Last this gathering was a terrible mistake. Danak signs heavily and looked down. Why? You have looked behind the curtain of my existence, and now I have looked at yours. Kibala stares at you intently. I do not think that we have heard all the words that should have been spoken here today. It is because you do not wish to say them in front of witnesses. Take walk with me. Kibala avoids your gaze as the two of you walk away from the other guests. She seems calm, but her slightest tremble running down her right hand betrays her agitation. Once you are alone, she looks straight at you. I have discerned what you are doing here, and I know that your calling is ritual was aroused. True rituals are constant, immutable, like the cycles of the cooling machine and the ship bowels of the shift of the base servants. This was spontaneous, something you prepared just for me, and then you stayed at my side the entire time. Now here you are, granting me another request. Why is that? I want to show you that there are other things in life besides service and duty. She tilts her head, studying your face. Other things? Dominator Vox. She suddenly looks away. A smile touches her lips. When you asked me if I wanted to look at the rituals of your world, I was not entirely candid with my answers. Yes, to see the Dominion's world is a priceless gift, but what I truly wish was to see you with you. She gives you a searching look narrowing her eyes. What do you think, Dominator's Vox? Has your blade failed you? Sounds promising. Kibala's lips stretch into a smile as she slowly places a hand on your shoulder. I share your anticipation. Kiss her. Kibala reciprocates, hesitantly at first, then passionately. Her lips are warm and soft, surprisingly so for someone seemingly woven from muscle and unyielding will. I want to stay with you in private. Then take me there, Nerov Vox. You can barely hear Kibala's voice as she speaks your name plainly for the first time.
different in intimacy from what I expected. I'm discovering new sides to you.
Kibala draws the finger across the pale skin, tracing a long, fluid line from the curve of her hip to the sharp ridge of her clavicle, through the patterns of her ritual wounds and battle scars. We have gained knowledge of one another in Eros Vox. Through the revelation of the flesh, we have spun a stronger spiritual bond between us. Do you feel it? We have certainly become closer. This pleases me. I believe this is but the first of many revelations we will receive. She stretches laughingly on the bed. Each new encounter promises an opportunity to know you better and to reveal yourself to you. We will explore our bodies and souls to attain total unity. Did you enjoy this evening? Kibala's eyes drift closed. Yes, it was a new sensation. Every moment with you was replayed with meaning. Empty lust would not grant such a depth of feeling. I didn't know physical intimacy held any interest for your spirits. The Bloodsport web does not encourage the pleasures of the flesh, but nor does it forbid them. A spinner is free to enjoy carnal love, but what draws them is the unusual curiosity rather than passion, or a special feeling, a sacred feeling that must not be sacrificed to us. Assessors. I must spend some time alone. I must traverse the labyrinth with new knowledge of us.
Send them into the cold void. Eviscerate them. Chart a course. Let destruction fall forth. Send them into the cold void. Let the Empyrean guide us. We are exposed. Unleash our wrath upon my enemies. Let the incandescent beams scorch our enemies. Steer us to our target. Torpedoes! Now! Eviscerate them! Chart a course. Emblazon our path.
Got them.
cold void. Chart a course. Let destruction pour forth. Let the incandescent beams scorch our enemies. Unleash torment. Eviscerate them. Macro cannons, annihilate them.
My premonitions never fail me.
Lord Captains, we have received a transmission from Foulstone. It was sent by members of the Order of the Hammer, votaries of Saint Cogatis, whose monastery is the only settlement on the planet. Or rather, it used to be. Some time ago, a transport vessel, or the Navica, unloaded several thousand refugees from the planet belonging to the road trader Winterscale. The Order of the Hammer just judged this invasion to be an act of aggression and is asking for your lordship protection. We will not abandon people of faith. Prepare a landing party and my shuttle. I'm taking the monastery under my protection. As you please, your lordship. 611 days after the feast of the passing of Nicomedes Cafe, the champion of faith, disquietude marred the calm of the monastery of the Order of the Hammer. Countless tortured souls, steeped in fear, arrived on Foulstone in Star Barak. A great apostasy had befallen their home and turned them into abject wanderers seeking help and refuge. They wicked and cruel captain, the owner of the Navica, had betrayed them. Once the unknowing souls in his care had made landfall on the world's surface, he most deviously recalled his shuttles and left, thus ridding himself of his duty to care for unfortunate lot. Not knowing how they would survive in Foulstone grim wastelands, the forsaken people came to the monastery of Saint Cognatius. And there they surrounded its walls. They hammered their fists on its gate and implored and wailed, "Take us in, protect us." And what once was a place of serenity and grace was now full of din, disorder, and all manner of things despicable. The interlopers brought with them worldly futility and strife, It may have also the seeds of alluring blasphemies, if friendly heathens lurked in their midst. After a prayer, the prelate Hectarchus turned his eye to the past in search of instruction. Prelate Hectarius recalled in the first missionaries to set foot on Falston vast wasteland, led by their zeal for serving Saint Cognatius, and those missionaries had received the blessing of Nicomodes Keefe, the champion of faith, who had travelled with them in their star barrack to found this place a humble and pure abode wherein to cultivate wisdom and piety. And Saint Cognatius, a man of great endeavours, a warrior of the wise artificer, never cowered behind the walls of Librarium, but stepped bravely into the darkness, carrying light in the palm of his hand, and he commanded others to do the same. And not only Fauston, but many other worlds of Cornelius Pines bear its imprints. And Prelate Hectarchus did welcome the interlopers warmly as guests, but he did warn his brethren to keep their vigilance. The brethren and sisters of the Order of the Hammer came forth to meet the strangers, carrying water and protein victuals and medical herbs and jugs of promethium, but the crowd came to blow over viands and blond what spilled, and many were trampled or muled in the stampede, some of them dwellers of the monastery. Then the warriors of the Order of the Hammer donned their flask cowls, inscribed words of praise to the God of Emperor on their tactical visions, and went forth, ready to render service in battle. With lasguns and bolters they pierced the interlopers with their chainsaws, and power flails they struck them, and a great and bloody harvest was repeated that day. But the interlopers too scanned through their armament and scanted their skill in battle, slew many along the monastery dwellers, for great wave their number and greater their desperation. The monk fled beyond the walls and rang the vox alarum. They shut the gate and commanded the armed guards to keep watch over the gate, slaying any who approached. A quarrel broke out. The hungry and the sick lay siege to the monastery, begging to help. They spied, they blocked the water collection and empowered the generatum. The faithful, in the meantime, made ready to resist, and a miracle came to pass. The God Emperor has sent a champion, his confidant, his right hand, the rogue trader of the blessed house von Valentius. May the light of his grace remain upon it forever. The blessed rogue trader unleashed his armed forces upon interlopers and monks alike, wreaking great shedding of blood and pillaging for his delectation. No. Bade the dwellers of the monastery fight the interlopers for his amusement, like beasts of war, and promise a generous boon for the victory. Seized by Coventuous, the monks and rebels clashed, their needs and their faith forgotten, they fought for greed alone. The fields of battle turned crimson, and the interlopers in terror fled, while the brethren of Prelate Hectarius remained behind, standing upon the bones of performing of solemn rites. Then the rogue trader came down to them and showed them of the gold without measure, and he took the surviving interlopers into bondage and gave them the monks as beholden servants, and he drank wine with the monks and regaled them with seductive oration. With this world, he wove before the monks a vision of proud palaces in which they sat as kings and ruled over the flock with the power absolute. Many were pleased with this vision. The brethren forged humility and took to sin, arraying themselves in gold and adorning their hair with gems, and their hearts trusting not in insane cognatures, but in the rock trader. Those who did not know treason against the holy vows were dispraised and cast out, and we fled to the mountains and suffered from cold and want of fodder. May the God Emperor have mercy on us for our timidity and our sin. Lord Captain, I hasten to report the disturbing news brought by me by machine spirit of the ship. The matter is extremely delicate and concerns Lady Cassia. You see, since her first day aboard, her presence has been disturbance to the crew ways of life. If you allow, I have prepared a detailed report. Delivery report. The first incident occurred immediately after our departure from Iraq 5. The lady navigator chastised one of the ship's runners, after which he went to his living quarters, killed his family, and then shot himself. The second incident was noted while traversing the warp. The lady navigator gave the pilot the wrong instruction, and the voice ship was thrown off course for a matter of minutes, but this was enough for the forces of the Immaterium to anger the machine spirits enough for them to start a fire in the service bay. After that, officers living near the Lady Navigator's quarters began to express extreme emotions: hysteria, apathy, euphoria, rage. This quite detrimental to crew morale and performance. The last incident was recorded on Footfall. Around 100 living birds were delivered on board during the stay on Footfall. Each bird cost a hefty sum, but have failed to discover their purpose and subsequent fate. I was also told about the conflict between the Lady Navigator and Sanashel. Alas, with no details. If you like, you can ask Master Wersrain directly. Things are even worse with Jay Haydari. I intercepted a voxcast in which she promised she would, and I quote, end the Kashaka if she ever saw her again. If I may, Lord Captain, the Lady Navigator's state of mind worries me. She is self-contained and does not mesh with the crew at all, which is why everyone avoids her. Even senior officers can be superstitious. I feel that only you are in the position to talk to her on equal footing and improve the situation, for the sake of the crew's safety and that of Lady Cassia herself. When the Lord Captain arrives on the bridge during the warp jump, he found the off-duty officer in a state of utter confusion. They claimed they had been receiving orders from the bridge for several minutes, order authorized by the rogue trader, but the Lord Captain had been absent. Curiously, the orders had been signed by the late Theodora von Valencius after a thorough investigation, and Tech Priest attributed the strange incident to the whims of the machine spirit. The ship left the hostile Immaterium and returned to the real space.
Lord Captain?
I heard that you and Cassie exchanged words recently. What happened?
And who brought this piece of news to you, I wonder? Then again, I have nothing to hide from you. Of late, the helmsmen have been going off course with increasing frequency, and the reports are full of contradicting accounts. The problem continued, even after several demotions were handed out, so I took it upon myself to investigate. I was astonished to learn that our Lady Navigator has been amending entries in the ship's log, and the officers have been keeping silent on her orders. I immediately demanded an end to the outrageous conduct, and I reprimanded Lady Cassia in front of the officers. She greeted my words with silence, and then quickly departed. I should not have acted thus. I never even found out what drove her to do it. Lord Captain.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen? So, Vigdis is snooping in on my Vox line. I wasn't threatening your navigator. I didn't even think about it. I was just relaxing in the good company of fragrant Amasak, sweet-scented Laho, and a handful of new friends from the upper decks. And right in the middle of the fun, the Lady Navigator swoops in and starts jabbering about how her head is about to split from the cacophony of colors coming from our cabin. Long story short, Shireen, I had the misfortune of getting a taste of what your officers have been going on about. They say when the Arcelio girl becomes upset, everyone in the vicinity loses their minds and is overtaken by Agi. And it hurt like anything. I can only remember everyone huddling in a corner, wailing like klaxons. As for Cassia, I think Cassia was flustered by the state of our clothes, which were very meager back then, as you understand. Before I could get my bearings, the poor thing was gone. The whole situation was awkward. As for the threats, they were addressed to one of the girls I'd been foolish enough to invite to our little party. That Casa used the confusion to pilfer a full pouch of Laho from under my nose. Oh, I have no doubt you will.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
Panic flashes in her ruby eyes, and your heart stares beating a little faster while your hand go cold.
Not here. I'm begging you. Aren't noblemen supposed to discuss such things away from the servants?
Let's go to my study. No one will disturb us there.
Then lead the way, and I will answer all of your questions.
What is it you wanted to talk about, Lord Captain? I have nothing to say to your unfounded accusation about my conflicts with the crew. I cannot recall me having a single quarrel with any of you people during my entire time aboard. You have been willfully changing entries in the ship logbook and forbidding officers from reporting to Abelard. I beg to differ. I read numerous books on Astronataris and can swear on House Orsilia honor that your officers are entering data incomplete, contravention of regulation, false terms, random distances between lines, spelling mistakes in even the simplest of words. I have spent the last few cycles correcting the latest log entries, and I thought I would please Master Abelard, as he is so fond of order. And yet the Seneschal did not appreciate my efforts and for some reason called them an outrage, even though mere days before he had been swaddling me in warm yellow words. I notice all your people do this when they express sympathy. I merely wanted to repay the Seneschal with the same courtesy. Perhaps you find my friendliness off-putting. You must have quite fallen out with Jay if she is threatening to kill you. Cassia ruby eyes become round and unbidden. Flush suffers a pale face with a rosy tint. I didn't. This is our private business. The issue was between me and Lady J. Lord Captain, please pay no heed. We made our peace long ago, and I will have you know, no one threatens me. Your information is incorrect. The messenger you rebooked butchered his own family and then killed himself. I haven't rebooked a single errand boy on the ship. Cassie ponders his for a moment. I think I remember. A kind young man with a shy smile and skillful fingers, with too much rotten ochre on his shoulder. I grew tired of the disgusting color and advised him to linger his burden by casting the weight off his shoulder. He did not come the next day, or ever again. During the voyage you gave the wrong orders, which led to the vessel shifting of course and the service bay being destroyed. I saw something in the warp, something vast, predatory, shimmering with indescribable colors. It came from nowhere and stared at the ship with hundreds of hungry eyes, right there in our path. I decided to change the course while it was still possible, but did not want to sow panic. Would it have been better to tell the crew we were heading straight into the monster gaping maw? The officers are reluctant to be quartered next to your chambers because of constant emotional outbursts this causes them. Some even maim themselves and others. I already told you I cannot control my abilities. What else do you want from me? Will I be assigned as a pariah chaperone, or will you put me in the suppressed shackles? Would you mind telling me what you need 100 species of birds and what you use them for? Admittedly, I am unbalanced myself. The day we arrive on Footfall, I sent a request to the ship quartermaster and asked him to get me a songbird. But he never asked for clarification, and shortly before we left, I had countless number of cages delivered to me, all wrapped in a bright red panic with flickering tints of fear. There was a bird in every one. I was so excited I thought I would have 100 friends instead of just one. They were squeaking so piteously I left the poor things out. I even fed them my breakfast and dinner, but the stupid birds would not stop chittering even after bedtime. They were dashing about the room, smacking me in the face with their wings and defecating. I became angry and suddenly they started pecking at each other's eyes and attacking me. Then I became afraid and they fell over dead. I do not think I want to keep pets anymore. You have kind soul, but have difficulty reaching out to people. I could teach you the art of communication if you like. That would be wonderful. My education at Urek was cut short, but I had realized by then that the wisdom of books is a poor substitute for the wisdom of experience. Very well, since we are done with this misunderstanding, I would like to change the subject. I would only be fair for me to ask you a few questions now, wouldn't it? Cassia hesitates and continues a less confident tone. Do not mistake me, I'm not going to accuse you of anything. I just that you are the most worthy interlocutor of the entire ship. You are always so busy. What would you like to ask me? I read a treatise by Passius Demov very recently, who claims that subject would never believe the new ruler was better than the old one unless the old one had been a tyrant. No matter the circumstances, the lowborn rabble become deluded about the prosperous and rebel in favor of the base desires. What do you make of that? Your interpretation of this classical text is not entirely correct. If the subjects have grown accustomed to the ruling house, all the sovereign must do is refrain from breaching long-standing tradition, adjust unwanted laws as gradually as would shift the bed of the flooded river, and no one will ever take your power from you. Cassia thinks for a moment and then smiles. Indeed, I was not wrong about your merits, or abilities to hold a conversation. I hope my second question does not confound you either. According to the 20 tomes penned in the Preacher Austere, Infant the Forgotten, mercy and cruelty go through the world hand in hand, but people flock only to one pan of the scales. Would you rather inspire fear in your followers or be magnanimous and choose awe? One must be a tyrant, a friend, and a jester to one subject. What matter is that clearly discern which role requires a given moment. There is no such power in your words, power that makes me want to join you. I understand now why your subjects are eager to follow you. I admit I was afraid we were too different, and yet you helped me realize I can be candid with you. Please, to continue. I must confess that sometimes I can hardly bear the burden of the house has placed upon me. I feel I'm not doing my best. Tell me how you, heir to the Protectorate, can bear the responsibility of billions of lives, day after day, and not stoop under all the weight. It is my duty whether I like it or not. Thank you for your patience, Nerve Vox. You are helping me to see the world in different colors, a novel experience for me. Our conversation holds a special place in my heart. Allow me to bid you farewell for now. I am heading back to my chambers to consider today's conversation. The magnetic storm raging above the planet blurs the gaze of Augur arrays. Only through a powerful diviner machine may see through the currents of magnetic fluctuation in a blessed vigil and discover the mysteries of the Emperor Forsaken Planet. The rogue trader has dedicated to leave the unwelcoming world. Maybe he will return here one day. The ruins of ancient imperial city were discovered on a dead world completely deprived of an ecosystem. According to the reports, the entire settlement is contained in a titanium glass dome that had once held an artificial atmosphere. Your Argus detects the framework of the 3 other similar structures that were never completed. For whatever reason, the dome system failed and left behind is this city, a ghost that never managed to become a proper colony of the Imperium. Explore the local palace. A lavishly decorated estate of the local rusted towers over a row of featureless bunkhouses. Several explorers perished from the cleverly hidden tripwires in the courtyard, but after losing their companions, the team easily disarmed the remaining traps in the estate. Anything of value has been promptly delivered to rogue trader vessel. The Lord Captain was even given an exquisite sword found in a secret stash once belonging to the mansion's owner. Explore the districts. The Temple District is situated on the heart of the city. The God Emperor's statue, intricately carved from precious crystal, is sustained beneath the dome, supported by a chain of gold, and can be seen from anywhere in the colony. Inspired at the majestic sight, the expedition members set off to explore the area with renewed vigor. Soon enough, they stumble upon an ancient weapon lying on a pedestal wreathed in sunlight. The expedition brought it back to the ship and told many tales about how the Emperor himself, who had been watching them from above, had directed their attention to the sacred relic. Gather supplies. Your people flooded the city like tidal wave, filled building and outbuilt the bunkhouses after bunkhouses, and receded from its quiet streets just quickly. There were plenty of useful things among the findings, including foodstuff and weapons. Trade. It takes several trips to deliver the massive Prometheum storage tank to your vessel. The crew primal point of colony was running out of fuel. Had the life support system not failed permanently, the local would still have perished due to lack of energy. Lord Captain, permission to address you with a request. Our head Shogun is sabotaging the ship operation. He had quarantined several envoysman crew on account of piddling sickness. People don't even go to med bay when they come down with it. They just wipe their noses and keep working. Only a dozen or so die from it in a whole year. We sit on our hands here, so I ask you to talk some sense into him. Your vox clicks and you hear a dry, nonchalant response. Greetings, your lordship. My name is Letad Forius, and I'm the doctor of this vessel. As your chief medical specialist, I assure you that the quarantine is well warranted. This spitting sickness has claimed the lives of a number of officers in the past. This time I intend to get the epidemic under control, study the disease thoroughly, and develop a proper cure. I hope you will agree that a single period of downtime is a small price to pay for the number of lives that will be saved and the increase in the crew's performance during other such outbreaks in the future. Not to mention the fact that we won't have to waste stimulants due to the afflicted using them as a crunch to offset their limited work capacity. Our objective is experiment. Get those voidsmen back to the working fitness. You will have to find Q some other way. I wish I could discover the cure by sitting in my office and furrowing my forehead, but reality imposes other demands. Be that it may, I obey your command and I will search for the other means to defeat the disease. Should you require any further assistance, you may find me on the bridge, your lordship. Look, Captain, I bring dire news. A feud had broken between the clans that maintain the Void Shield arrays. Rumor has it that the late Lady Theodora was seen in the lower deck, and so on the families called the rebellion against the usurper of the Void, that is, you. So far, no one believes they mad tales, but unrest has begun on the fringes of the compartments. The shields and forces are ready to eliminate the insurgency clan and pacify the entire Void ship crew. The decision is yours. What is the story about Lady Theodora? Rumors of Lady Theodora's presence on the void ships has been circulating for a long time and appear to be deliberate provocation rather than ordinary drunken ramblings. Perhaps someone is intentionally stirring up the masses to rebel against you, or perhaps it is the influence of the warp. And forces are already investigating, but right now we need to stop the conflict from escalating any further. As long as the unrest continue, the void ship shields will not be operating at full capacity. Pacify the entire void ship crew. Those who succumb to the provocation of the unruly are no less guilty. I'll see to it, Lord Captain. In the middle of the warp jumps, our sensor detected an approaching void ship similar to our in size but of greater tonnage. The unidentified vessel did not respond to our hails and kept on course, approaching at full speed. Try to avoid collision. The unplanned maneuver was completely without casualties or damage. The unidentified vessel, or perhaps it was a warp mirage, posed us but made no attempts to follow us. Report show a personal cogitation screen. Unknown ships are towering the interstellar sexton, a cargo ship belonging to one of the footfall wealthiest traders. It looks like the pirates have bitten off more than they can chew and have now been forced to drag the ship to a more secluded place where they can plunder it. Let's attack it. As soon as you see the escort ship charge into the battle while the captain powers up warp engines. Unless you interrupt the preparation for the jump, the cargo ship will forever vanish beyond the veil of Immaterium along with all the riches it's carrying.
Mighty machine spirit, lend us
Send their souls to the void. Send them into the cold void. Eviscerate them. Let the incandescent beams scorch our enemies. Emblazon our path. Unleash our wrath upon my enemies. Unleash the storm of macro cannons. Chart a course. Eviscerate them. Macro cannons, annihilate them. Let the incandescent beams scorch our enemies. Unleash torment. Let destruction pour forth. Unleash our wrath upon my enemies. Eviscerate them. Let the incandescent beam scorch our enemies. I reign supreme again.